Clerk, please call the roll. Here.
Here.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We're going to start with ordinance number 1223-2025. Come on, Commissioner Green. By Council Members Harrison and Griffin, by departmental request, an emergency ordinance authorizing the mayor and the commission of purchase and supplies to sell certain city-owned property no longer needed for the city's public use located on East 9th Street to Ortho School Property LLC or designee for purposes of developing a hotel. All right, Mr. Green.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and
Thank you.
members of the committee. So this, where's the one here? Okay. So ordinance 2023 is a request by the Department of Community Development just to be able to sell City of Cleveland-owned land to the developer Ortho Properties LLC. The purpose of it is to build a hotel in Ward 7. The parcels that are on the screen, there are 4 of them. All are on East 90th Street. The addresses are next to the ones that have addresses, and sometimes when you take in a parcel, the address disappears. But these parcels are all City of Cleveland parcels, so they have to go through a legislative process, which differs from the land bank. The developer is doing land acquisition around on East 90th Street and East 93rd Street for the hotel development. There'll be land bank properties included, and they also have acquired additional properties around that site. So just to orient you to the location, the site is on East 90th Street, and the development will also be on East 93rd. So we'll take both streets to the east and west, and then south to Chester Avenue, and north to Huff Avenue. The 4 parcels that are being requested are highlighted in red here on the screen. Now, I do want to draw your attention to one thing. As we were going through the parcels that are being acquired for the project on East 93rd and East 90th, Mr. Bowen, who I'm joined with from Ortho Properties LLC, we discovered that one of the parcels that previously was thought to be a land bank parcel is also a City of Cleveland parcel. So we would like to add that parcel to this legislation. If I need to come back at a later time and do an amendment, I can do that, but preferably I'd like to amend it here if possible. That parcel is the parcel highlighted in blue. So that's 119-09041. So at this point, I'm going to pass this to Mr. Bowen, who will talk a little bit about the project that will take place on those parcels. And then you'll see the overall site plan that will help you understand why we need all the parcels that are being requested.
Yeah, Chairman Harrison, to the committee, Mike Bowen. I am actually a partner with Ortho School Properties here, but I also am their legal counsel here. So just to give you a little kind of context and history of how we got here. So this has been a labor of love over the last 3 years. We've been doing a lot of site acquisition. We've been trying to acquire a lot of properties, and this is kind of the final phase. So there's been kind of three chunks of property. So back maybe I want to say 24 months ago, we got the first 4 land bank parcels. Then there's another, as Commissioner Green said, 5 City of Cleveland parcels that have to go through the legislative process. And finally, there's another 4 parcels that are moving kind of concurrently with the land bank as this process is happening. And so we initially launched this site to be a multifamily site, but kind of as things have progressed with just the economy and other things, we kind of shifted gears here and have already got a commitment from Marriott. So let me talk a little bit about Spring Hill Suites and the location, because I think that's important. So if you look at the Cleveland Clinic, we're about 5, let's say, houses down from the clinic. And the Spring Hill Suites are for long-term stay. So this is not a, hey, I come in for a day and I leave out. So it's geared to long-term stay. So if you have, unfortunately, a mother or father who's sick and is in the Cleveland Clinic for a long period of time, they can now be 5 doors down from the clinic and stay for an extended period of time. So we thought this would actually be a perfect fit for this area here. I could go through the project details really quickly here. So it's going to be 127 rooms. It's going to be approximately $21 million hotel development. I laugh because that is a moving target, as you guys know. We're going to have an F&B package down there to be determined what that is. It'll be a full-fledged fitness center in there, breakfast area, so it'll look like your standard Spring Hill Suites. From a job perspective, we're probably going to bring at least 300 construction jobs, and we're looking at 25 full-time jobs. What's interesting about this is we've actually worked with Marriott to try to have some sort of workforce program. So if somebody comes in and let's say they're starting as a cleaner there, they can work their way up into a management position. And so we are working with Director Mitchell. I'm trying to get ahead of all the questions you're going to ask me. But we've been talking to Director Mitchell at OEO to kind of start working on our CBA already as the other kind of two processes are going. So I think that's kind of a unique component to this because it's not just going to be construction jobs. We're actually going to have actual workforce permanent jobs that people can hopefully increase and work their way up. So, and I guess the last thing I'll say, it'll be around $1 million of payroll to the city of Cleveland.
Commissioner?
Yeah, so the parcels will be sold at fair market value for market rate development. That is determined by appraisal. So although I'd like to add the fifth parcel onto this, it still has to go through a determination of surplus land by other city departments. The developer still has yet to go through local design review as well as planning commission and zoning and all of that. So the land will not actually transfer until they have done their final construction drawings and are ready to proceed with the project.
Thank you, Commissioner. So you, is it fourth parcel or fifth parcel? Wait.
Fifth parcel.
Fifth parcel.
To the chair.
So this fifth parcel, you said, will still need to go back to planning?
It will not need to go to planning. Planning actually passed it through an administrative review. They kind of got bored with
For the fifth
bringing
parcel?
land.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Okay, so they did it through, all right.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with amending and adding the parcel. I mean, it's clear where it is on the map, why it's needed. And it has also been reviewed by other departments as not a need for the other departments as well.
We'll send it through this particular parcel through a review for surplus land determination.
Okay.
That takes a couple of weeks.
And we don't have anything else around there that we are doing that will require that piece of parcel, right?
No, to the chair. We were actually aggregating land for the previous apartment development. So,
okay. That's
so all
what I
of that
thought.
land was for the same developer. It's just
Okay.
a different project.
That's what I thought, because I remember a while ago there were discussions and there were movement because a different project was coming here to this site, and the department was beginning to pull parcels and store them, for that project. Okay. All right. And you indicated that all 5 parcels will be sold at market rate value, correct?
To the chair, yes, that's correct.
All right. And the appraisal has been completed by who?
McDaniels and Associates, Carlos
Yes.
McDaniel.
Thank you. And that's somebody that's on our list of appraisers, rather.
To the chair, I don't know that they're on a list of appraisers. We don't necessarily have a list of appraisers.
Okay.
We have one that the department uses. However, we do allow the developers to also seek their own appraisal, and if it's something that we agree with, then we will sell it at that.
Okay.
The price is above what the county values the land at, and also if we were to do sort of that land, excuse me, the land bank. Trying to think of what it's called, where we do pricing around that. So this is still higher than those prices.
Okay, sounds good. All right, thank you. And to Mr. Bowen, you indicated you're talking with Director Mitchell about the CBA, and what that looks like. How's that going? Where are you on that process?
So we actually are scheduling a meeting. We're working on schedules now between Ms. Johnson, his administrative assistant, and then myself. So we are in the early processes, but we've already made the outreach and we're in communication.
Okay. Well, the fact that you're sitting here and you meet part of the CBA, being a minority developer.
And to that point, Chairman, there's actually another minority group involved in this project. So it's almost, I want to say 45% minority owned, which I'm not sure any other hotel in this town can say that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any questions from the committee? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hello, very supportive of this project. Sounds like it's going to be transformation on that area. But through the chair, why is it that we don't do the appraisal before we do legislation to sell the land?
Commissioner?
Through the chair to the councilwoman, the appraisal is already done.
Yes, done.
What I'm saying is that on this fifth parcel, that has not been appraised yet.
Okay.
So that will be added, and it's likely the price will be the same because given the dimensions of the parcel, it's pretty much the same size.
Got it. And through the chair, what's the cost? I mean, what are you paying for this land? I mean, what is the developer paying for these parcels?
I believe it's to the councilwoman through the chair. I believe it's 7,000.
I can't remember. I could tell you
Yeah.
overall for if you take the land bank, the two land bank swaths and this, it's close to $500,000.
Okay.
sorry,
Got it.
Mayor, for the
And
exact-
through the chair, is the city economic development, I mean, considering there's like a workforce plan, are they helping with any resources?
Yeah, through the chair to Councilwoman Santana, it's a good question. So kind of where we are in the process, I think that would be kind of helpful, is essentially we just need a letter from the city to show we can get control to get our financing, and then from there, we're almost going to kick back into the actual process of meeting with economic development. We got ahead of the OEO thing just because I know that's just from experience. I know that's kind of the first step that they want us to do. But to answer your question directly, yes, 100% we're going to be engaging with economic development.
Got it, okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It sounds like a good project. I just have a question that's maybe more of a curiosity. In the site plan that you have on the screen up there, there is a carve-out around 3 parcels that appear to be on West 90th. And I think the one on the north side is the parcel ending in 41 that you want to amend the legislation to include. Is that correct?
Through the chair to the councilman, yes.
Okay. So through the chair to the commissioner, there appear to be 2 houses and an empty lot. And what are the condition of those 2 houses? What's the situation there? Are they currently owner occupied? Are they vacant? Are they abandoned? Are they held by banks? Or what are the condition of those 2 houses that you're sort of building around?
Yeah, I could speak to that. So the one in the middle, so there is 3 parcels there. One, I believe, is owner occupied. I believe one is a vacant land, and I believe the other is a vacant house. So I think it's kind of all 3 there.
Okay, and through the chair, have you looked at the vacant house then about acquiring that? It seems like a odd little cutout there.
Yeah, so when we first started this process, I'm sorry, through the chair to Councilman Harris, through the process, when we started this, we actually tried to acquire all of that. So the price got exorbitant, and the ask got exorbitant, and so we kind of had to pivot.
And so lastly, through the chair, so the parcel that you want to amend, the one ending in 41, is the parcel in between those 2 houses. It's blue on the screen in front of us, but it's essentially the very narrow parcel in between those 2 houses. How would that land be utilized since it's basically a little strip in between the 2 parcels that you're unable to acquire?
I'm sorry, through the chair to Councilman Hart. So we actually own the house in between that one. So I'm sorry. So the house between 39 and 41, we actually own that house. I'm sorry, I thought you were talking south of 38. So I'm sorry about that.
Okay, so if I make,
Yeah.
so what we're talking about is, you have this one. We would amend to include this parcel, so you'd have site control all the way up to here, and this would be the only house you don't.
Yes, through the chair to Councilman Hart, that's correct.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I was just asking because it would change the layout of the parking options, essentially, is what it would do.
Correct.
And I noticed that a bunch of your parking is to the south of the facility itself, so this would allow you to move parking closer to it. And it would, okay. Understood. Thank you, Chair.
But on that point, really quick, I'm just thinking about that, sorry, Chair. Thinking about the property owner there, how does he or she feel about development, parking being surrounding her? I mean, has there been a discussion?
Yeah, so through the chair to Councilwoman Santana, we have done some, I'm going to call it unofficial community outreach around there. What we plan to do is after we can get some sort of control, and I know that's probably not the right word because I know no deed is being transferred over, then we can kind of start that process. Until the bank sees that we have some control of this land, we're kind of just talking in space, you know what I mean? And so this process will allow us to get the control to then go through the normal city process that I've, through many projects I've gone through, the community engagement, doing all of that kind of site planning. Actually, we're taking a chance here because they may say, no, we don't want it, blah, 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 but then we're kind of stuck with this land. So I don't know if that kind of answered your question.
And if I could add on to that, through the chair to the councilwoman, I don't know if many of you remember how Chester used to be with a bunch of old brick buildings that sort of lined down when you got near 105, East 105. So to the north, there were, a lot of old brick buildings. Originally, this was an apartment project that is now a hotel. Spring Hill Suites, and I'm very familiar with the Marriott chain of hotels, my previous tenure in the travel industry. But Marriott, Spring Hill Suites is a long stay type of hotel, and it's designed different ways. I've seen them with pitch roofs that match the surroundings of the neighborhood, so they can look more like condos or they can look like a hotel. So there's different designs. Right now, the design that you see here on the screen is it's very preliminary. It's just saying this is a Spring Hill Suites, but it has to go through design review. It has to go through planning. There'll be some question marks around where parking is actually placed, shielding that from residents and things of that nature. So there's going to be a beat down, if you will, from planning.
We're ready for it.
As
Thank you. I mean,
goes forward.
if once you come back with a design or so forth, I would love for the resident to be invited so we could hear from her, because I know for me I would probably not like development around my home. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Seeing no further questions from the committee, ordinance number 1220. Okay, I didn't hear you, Councilwoman. You gotta speak up for me, okay? Look kind of hard to hear down here. Councilwoman House Jones.
Good morning. Through the chair to the team that's here, quick question, and I do want to, anyway, I want to put on the record, one of the reasons why I have not made decisions on this parcel is because my mother lives on East 93rd Street. Well, her house is. And I have exceedingly spoken with the administration about longstanding practices of the city of Cleveland that hold land and long-term residents who have tried to purchase the land have been denied the opportunities. And for the city to not come up with ways for residents to equitably be able to benefit from the good times. You've been there from the bad times. You maintain the property throughout the years. And even to this day, administration, community development, no one comes up with a way to have more of an equitable opportunity for people to grow. So as I don't know, as far as in 2026, this will be a part of Ward 6. I would hope that people would actually engage the residents that are there on the street and the property owners on that street. I think it would be helpful if you are indicating that this is an engagement with Marriott Properties to be able to show where similar developments are throughout the country in very places are residential places. Many of the ones that you'll have usually a cutoff from commercial development to residential development. And like I said, I've been very clear on, I know that I cannot be an objective I cannot have an objective voice when it comes to this legislation. Therefore, when people look at the legislation, you do not see my name on the legislation because I've been very clear, even though people have stated rules that I have to weigh in or sign off on land bank parcels, and I just knew on the record that I could not do that in a fair and impartial way. So I do want the record to reflect that. So please recuse me from this piece of legislation.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Thank you for your comments. And Mr. Green, you hear the Councilwoman loud and clear in terms of process and just you've been here for a long time.
Yeah.
And, kind of things were and where folks who are here now would like to see things, direction for processes and procedures from CD to go as we move further along here in City Hall, okay? All right, so please take
Yes.
that back and share that with your director. I thought I saw her here, but maybe not. All right? Thank
Yes.
you, Commissioner. Seeing no further questions, ordinance number 1223-2025 stands approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have ordinance, yes. Yes, that's what I have. Thank you. You're welcome. Ordinance number 1084-2025 by Councilmember Spencer, an emergency ordinance designating the Tamir Rice Butterfly Memorial as a Cleveland landmark. Come on up. How are you? I'm not used to this face. Where's Carl? No, it's all good. How are you, sir?
Doing well, thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Good morning, Dan Musson, Secretary of the Cleveland Landmarks Commission. Carl's away at a conference, so
Okay. You just shocked us, Secretary Munson.
not used to my handsome mug.
Absolutely. Thank you. And the presentation is on the tablet as well. All
Okay.
right.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to be handing things over to Ms. Samira Rice and Ms. Nikki Hudson here in a moment. They're going to be presenting the Tamir Rice Butterfly Memorial for your consideration as a Cleveland landmark. The memorial is located in the Cadell Commons, which is part of the Clifton West Boulevard's historic district. So the site is already protected by landmark status. The Landmarks Commission just feels that this site rises above and apart from the significance of the rest of the historic district and should be designated as an individual Cleveland landmark. We've received consent to move forward with the designation from Director Nichols over at Parks and Rec, and Councilwoman Spencer has enthusiastically supported the effort. So at this point, I will hand things over to Ms. Rice.
Again, good morning, council members.
Good morning. Can you put a little bit closer so we can hear you?
Okay,
Gotcha. Thank you.
okay,
I know it's like kind of weird when it's all in.
absolutely. Situated in 11-acre Cadell Park, this 1-acre memorial commemorates Tamir Rice, my son, a 12-year-old African-American boy who was shot and killed by Cleveland police in 2014 while playing in the park. After Tamir's death, the community created an improper memorial at the park's gazebo. This was replaced in 2015 by the original butterfly garden designed by Molly Nagin, who at the time was the vice president of the Tamir Rice Foundation. The butterfly garden was created by community members and school children in honor of Tamir. It was a labor of love intended to help the community heal and move forward after this tragic event. Okay, I'm gonna pass it over to Ms. Nikki.
In 2022, under the direction of Tamir's mother, Samaria Rice, the memorial was renovated and expanded into a butterfly-shaped memorial designed by landscape architect Diane Jones Allen of Design Jones LLC with local firm DeRue Landscape Architects. More than 250 people attended the ribbon-cutting ceremony, including 10 families of police murder from throughout the state and country, U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown and his wife and journalist Connie Schultz, Ohio State Senator Nikki Antonio, and Cleveland City Councilwoman Jenny Spencer. The memorial features planting beds, curvilinear paths composed of brick pavers, resin, and marble, and 2 plaques installed flush with the ground plane. One panel, made of polished black granite, features an engraved portrait of Tamir. The other panel is dedicated to Tamir's sister, Tajay Rice, who at the age of 14 tried to come to a brother's aid and was tackled and improperly detained by Cleveland police. The brick path is interspersed with butterfly mosaics crafted by local artist Angelica Pozzo. Simply designed black stone benches edge the memorial, allowing visitors a place to sit and contemplate the commemorative space. The memorial is located in Cadell Park, which has been part of the Clifton and West Boulevard Historic District since 2000. Originally called the West Boulevard Allotment Subdivision, it was a carefully planned neighborhood within Cleveland's Parks and Boulevard system, an ambitious idea to connect Cleveland's parks with wide boulevards and parkways. Cadell Commons Park was donated to the city in 1906 by renowned Cleveland architect Frank E. Cadell, who is also the namesake for the Cadell neighborhood. After his death in 1916, a clock tower was constructed by his widow and still stands in the park today, just a few hundred feet from the Rice Butterfly Memorial.
The shooting, death of 12-year-old Tamir Rice in 2014 brought increased attention to the national debate on interactions between police officers and African Americans. Several hundred protests gathered in downtown Cleveland on November 25th, 2014, and on multiple occasions since. In response to both Tamir's killing and the lack of justice for those responsible. Tamir was a beloved member of the Cadell neighborhood. He attended Marion C. Seltzer School, took classes at the Fine Arts Center, and was well known at Cadell Recreation Center, where he often spent time playing basketball and other sports with his friends. His death shook shockwaves through the community, and the Rice Butterfly Memorial had become a sacred space for people to come and reflect on his life and try to find answers and peace to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for the presentation and comments this morning.
Yeah.
And, I know it's tough. I had a 12-year-old myself, and
Yeah.
my prayers are with you always.
Thank you.
Because no matter how people think, time is tough. I understand.
It is.
My prayers are with you.
Thank you. I appreciate that,
Absolutely.
Council.
You're welcome.
Councilman.
Very beautiful memorial. Had an opportunity. I remember when the first memorial kind of was done over at the park there. And thank you, Councilwoman Spencer, for bringing this forward on behalf of the community and the Rice family. And I'll turn it over to Councilwoman Spencer for questions and comments.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It is wonderful to have Ms. Rice at the table, along with Nikki Hudson and Secretary Musson. This is really an important moment. I want to recognize Ms. Rice for your overall leadership that you provide in our community, your sustained leadership over so many years. I know it asks so much of you and your family, and you continue to give of yourself to heal and to come together as a community. And this is just one example of the many works that you've lifted up and the many things you've done. So know that I sincerely appreciate everything you continue to do.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
That means a lot.
And these amazing women have now, this is their third time at City Hall for this piece. So as we all know, the city has its procedures, and so they've been to Planning Commission. This has been presented to Planning Commission and to Landmarks Commission, and now here at our committee. So thank you also, both of you, for just taking the time to physically come down to City Hall and give this beautiful presentation. I know it's been a long process as well, but this is, as our chair noted, this is a sacred space. This is a beautiful space, not only for the Cadell community. Thank you, Nis.
Thank you, Councilwoman Spencer.
Oh, you're welcome.
That means a lot.
Thank you. This is a sacred space not only for the Cadell community, but it's really for all Clevelanders. And I would invite anyone who has not had the opportunity to visit this memorial to come and reflect. It is the energy and the power in that space is unbelievable. It's just so beautifully conceived, and Tamir's presence is there when you are there. I also want to mention that there's a wonderful, some wonderful synergy happening at Cadell Commons Park. A lot of you are familiar with the epic journey to save Cadell Commons Park. Cleveland Metropolitan School District, really an unprecedented act, agreed to modify a school design in order to preserve green space. And as a result, the city is also making a significant investment in the green space around the school within the park itself. And they have brought back Design Jones, which is the company that did design, along with Ms. Rice, designed this memorial. Design Jones is going to be completing the green space design near the school and surrounding the memorial. So it'll really complement and build off of the strength that this memorial brings. So I think that was a difficult time when the community was in conflict with decision makers at the city and at the school district. And yet what's resulting from all of that is something that will be truly extraordinary. And I feel that we're all in wonderful hands with Design Jones, given what they've accomplished so far. Yes.
Yeah, I'm very happy. Yeah.
Yes. So this has been a journey. Marking this as a standalone landmark is well-deserved. I think it will it just emphasizes its importance in the community. So I thank you all our colleagues for your support on this piece.
Absolutely.
Thank you, council
Councilwoman
members.
Welch.
Through the chair, I just want to say thank you so much for continuing to show up in this way. We've worked alongside each other for a very long time. And a lot of people don't know that in the earlier days, when we were trying to get the gazebo to stay here, it doesn't actually live in Cleveland. If memory serves me correctly, it lives in Chicago. Yeah. And what happens is when you don't have parts of history or memorialized history, there's erasure. And this isn't just the erasure of Black history, it's the erasure of Cleveland history when the marker is not there. Yeah. And so for you and the people working alongside you and this committee to continue to show up and make sure that there's a marker and memorial for that means that when there are people who pass by that, there's a history. That we're able to go back to the books, even in conflict, and say, this is what we've done, but we don't have to do that anymore. And so I thank you for continuing to show up, not just for your son, but for our city, to remind us of the importance of his life, the importance of your life as a mother in fighting for not just your child, but Cleveland's children. And I just want to thank you to this committee for continuing to push this forward.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Anything else from the committee? Well, listen, I think absolutely Councilwoman Sanders, everyone has said everything. And again, just thank you again for your commitment, not only to your baby, but other babies across the Cleveland. And, your fight helps keep others going as well.
I appreciate
Trust
that.
me, it does. When people see your fight and others fight, it helps keep others moving forward in the fight against injustices and the things that are going on in our community. And so we thank you for that. Is there, and I guess I'll talk to staff to see whether, if I wanted to, financially help, if there was an extension of the memorial, if council members wanted to do that, what that looks like. I know you don't have that answer, but I will have a discussion to see what that looks like if folks wanted to get involved and help add to grow the memorial there, if that's something that you also choose. All right.
Well, I know the city is going to be doing some upgrades to the memorial, so
Right.
I'm happy about
Okay.
that. So you might want to talk to them
We'll have a
about
discussion
that.
then. Okay.
Because right now you could kind of walk through it, so they trying to put bushes for people who can't walk through it.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. But I wanted to share one thing. The gazebo is on the same street as the Obama Library in Chicago. So if you all was interested, it's at the Art Bank with the Astor Banks. And I think it's always open because he have his own thing down there, but it's there.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Well, thank you, Secretary Munson. Thank you. And to the committee, there's no further questions. Ordinance number 1084-2025 stands approved. Thank you all.
Thank
All right,
you.
have a good day.
Okay, so-
You got one more.
Yeah.
Ordinance number 1083-2025 by Councilmember Starr, designate an emergency ordinance designating former Cleveland Fire Department Engine Company 26 Station House as a Cleveland landmark. This is Kinsman.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right. Good morning again. Dan Wilson, Secretary of Landmarks Commission. Just presenting for your consideration the landmark designation of the former Cleveland Fire Department Engine Company 26 Station House, which is kind of a mouthful. But so this was originally nominated by the Landmarks Commission back in 2021, and we're kind of just circling back and trying to complete the process now. The property is located in Ward 5 at the corner of Kinsman and East 79th, formerly East Madison Street. The city initially purchased the property in 1883, but nothing was done for about a decade. As you can see from this 1881 map, the area was sparsely populated. Then in 1895, a resolution was passed to begin the process of beginning a new fire station, of building a new fire station on Kinsman near the Woodland Hills Avenue. Ultimately, the plan was not completed, but in 1897, a new resolution was created to use the property acquired in 1883 for a new firehouse in the growing neighborhood. All the bids for the initial proposal were rejected, and a second round of bidding was initiated. Staff would just like to thank the archivists over at the Western Reserve Fire Museum for providing us with a lot of the detailed information regarding the construction of the station that we have in our files in here today. As you can see from this 1898 map up on the screen, the neighborhood was growing, mainly due to the increase in manufacturing jobs just to the north at companies like Van Dorn Iron Works, Standard Foundry and Manufacturing, Glidden Varnish, and Eberhardt Manufacturing. The new station was constructed in just under 6 months and was dedicated on March 8th, 1898. The first crew was stationed there soon after. The architect for the station was William Ruggles Watterson. He was locally raised and returned to Cleveland after college for his career. He has been identified as an architect for a number of buildings in the area. His most recognizable probably being the old Lakeshore Bank or the Goodrich Gannett building there on St. Clair and East 55th. Zach McCloskey, a descendant of one of the earlier firefighters, shared some of his collection of the early years of the fire station. And you can see the transition from horse-drawn apparatus to motorized engines, which happened a little over 100 years ago, around 1915. It's just kind of wild that horses were still a major part of our transportation in the city just 100 years ago. In the late 1930s, all the alarm bells were removed from stations throughout the city. They were later melted down for the war effort. It's just an example. That's not the actual bell from Station 26, but that's what pretty much all the bells in the city looked like. Without need for the alarm bells, the tower was lowered to its current configuration and height in 1939. There were some additional modifications made in 1939 as well. You can see we have the blueprints here. Nothing significant. The tower was really the most significant change. And then you can see how the building looked after its renovation here in 1940. And then by the mid-1970s, the garage doors had been changed and the front windows of the radio area had been filled in with a bit of masonry and glass block. The nomination process had been initiated back in 2020, 2021 by the firefighters of Engine House 26. I guess that process began back in 2019, actually. This is a more current context image, and you can see how the Heritage View Apartments building kind of drew some inspiration from the station. And except for the changes noted, the station maintains its integrity to the 1939 additions. It's really just the doors and windows that have been altered. Then we have some images here from a site visit in the early 2020. the building really has not changed much over the last, I guess, since the 1939 renovations. It's no longer used as a fire station. The city still owns the property, and we've received consent to move forward with landmarks designation from Chief Director Drummond. Just some more images of the interior. You might notice the bat symbol in a few different locations. The crew lovingly refers to the station as the Bat Cave. It has a special place for anyone who worked there, and they wanted to make sure that it was preserved for the future. Yeah, the interior is really, there's, wainscoting and cherry ceilings, and they certainly don't build them like that anymore. But on September 4th, 2025, the new Fire Station 26 was officially opened. It's closer to the location of the one that was originally proposed in 1896. The former station has been placed into a new use and is being leased by the Vanguards of Cleveland as a community resource center and public safety museum. The former Cleveland Fire Department Engine Company 26 Station House meets many of the criteria for landmark designation, especially being a familiar visual feature in the neighborhood for over 127 years. So thank you for your consideration, and happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the committee? No questions from the committee? All right. Thank you, Secretary Munson. Thank you for a very thorough presentation as usual. Ordinance number 1083-2025 stands approved. All right.
Thank you very much.
Did we figure it out? Do we have to do an amendment?
Just really quick, got to go back to ordinance number 1223-2025. We've forgot to amend the ordinance to add parcel number 11909-041. So I'm going to read it again. Ordinance number 1223-2025 by Councilmembers Harrison and Griffin by department request. An emergency ordinance authorizing the mayor and the commission of purchases supplies to sell certain city-owned property no longer needed for the city's public use located on East 90th Street to Ortho School Properties LLC or its designee for purposes of developing a hotel. Mr. Harsh,
Mr. Chair, I move to amend to include parcel 11909-041.
is there a second? All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? See no discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. The motion has been introduced and passed. Any further questions at all? Seeing none, ordinance number 1223-2025 as amended stands approved. Thank you so much. All right, our last piece is ordinance number 1218-2025 by council members Hairston, Bishop, and Griffin by departmental request, an emergency ordinance determining the method of making the public improvement of constructing high-comfort pedestrian and bicycle improvements at various locations, authorizing Director of City Planning Commission, Public Works, and/or capital projects as appropriate to enter into one or more public improvement and professional services contracts needed for the improvement, authorizing the mayor and the Commissioner of Purchase and Supplies to acquire, accept, and record for right-of-way purposes, real property, and easements, authorizing the director to accept rights of entry from private property owners, authorizing the director to enter into various written standard purchase and requirement contracts needed to effectuate this ordinance, including vehicles and equipment, and to enter into other agreements or execute documents necessary to conduct the program. Wow. That is. All right. Thank you, Director Mersman and Chief O'Keefe.
Good morning, Chair and Committee.
Yes.
Callie Mersman, Director of City Planning. I'm joined this morning by Director Sarah O'Keefe of Sustainability and Climate Justice. This piece is authorizing the implementation of a CMAQ grant, that's congestion mitigation and air quality. These are federal funds that flow through the state and NOACA, our Metropolitan Planning Organization. This application opens up every 2 years and is specifically for funding projects that improve air quality and reduce congestion on our streets. So there are two parts to this grant application and project. The first is what Director O'Keefe is here to speak to. It's around pilot electrification of refuse vehicles, and so she can answer questions about that portion. The second part of the grant is around high comfort bikeways and pedestrian improvements that are aligned with our Cleveland Moves multimodal transportation plan, and I can speak more to that detail. Council passed authority to apply and accept this grant in Ordinance 851/2025 over the summer recess. This piece is a companion piece to that ordinance and has the authority to implement the grant. So going into a little bit more detail of the two components of the grant, again, there is a pilot electrification of waste trucks. So Director O'Keefe has been working with Public Works, motor vehicle maintenance, et cetera, around how we might continue to electrify our city fleet, specifically in the waste management division. For the transportation elements and the roadway elements, as you may recall, the Cleveland Moves plan outlined a goal of 50 miles of high comfort bikeways over the next 3 years, looking specifically at separated bike lanes as well as neighborhood greenways. This funding is to construct approximately 15 miles of separated bikeways on key connectors that link people to the citywide network, some of our lakefront and park areas, as well as a couple of sidewalk improvements that are priorities around schools that don't have sidewalks. And the final piece of information I'll share is that these funds become available in state fiscal year 2030, which means that construction, this is construction money, construction could start as soon as summer of 2029. So we have design of all of these segments, community engagement, et cetera, before we get to that construction piece. However, if we are ready sooner, there is an opportunity for us to work with NOACA to access funds sooner. So this is just a part of how we can bring funding in, leverage our local money. This is an 80-20 match split, so 80% federal funds, 20% local, to continue to put those puzzle pieces in place to design out changes that are aligned with our climate action plan, our multimodal plan, and our Vision Zero action plan. Happy to discuss in more detail or take any questions. There is a map in the council summary that shows the roadway segments that are part of the construction package here. And I'll finally add that all of those authorizations that the chair read out are around authorizations needed to do the construction piece. So one of the segments is connecting a short trail gap from Treadway Creek on Jennings Road up to the towpath trail at Harvard and Jennings. We may need to acquire some right-of-way, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what that litany of authorities refers to.
Okay. Chief, need to add anything?
Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. Yeah, just wanted to add that thank you to Director Mersman for leading this effort on the CMAQ application, and we're excited to be able to work with MVM and Waste and DPW to electrify those trash trucks.
Okay. Has that went into effect already? Or are they?
No, this would be, these funds would help to purchase those vehicles.
Okay.
So they would supplement, basically, the grant helps pay for the difference in the cost
For that, okay.
for electric vehicles, for trash trucks. And it's related to the air quality specifically, this grant is, and the trucks going from diesel to electric vehicle saves on the air pollution.
All right. Got it. Thank you. So this helps us make some of those changes that we want to see happen. I remember when those Canadian wildfires were happening, and it's just out of nowhere. You know, you come outside, you breathe, you're like, what's wrong? You know, you start choking and breathing. And, you know, air quality is very serious. And I think sometimes people don't pay attention. They think, oh, it's just allergies or something's bothering me. But, you know, you can really tell the difference when air quality is bad or, you know, something's going on. So anything will help. And just a few things. We're going to, Madam Clerk, the legislative summary we want to attach to this piece as a file attachment. Do I need to amend? Do I need a motion to do that? No? Yeah, I do? Okay. we'll do that, and just so that way the same information that you have here, that's on the legislative summary, can be attached to the piece as well. And so if there's questions or concerns or thoughts, you can, point directly to the legislative summary, okay? And because it gives more information, that kind of breaks down, kind of discussion here, that's not in the piece itself, all right? And that can be more easily followed as well, too, and not have to sift through things. Also, one other thought is to amend the notification for the clerk on any of the 108B expends. I think that's in section, where are we at? 6. The agencies and, kind of the agreements and the supplies, just to make sure the clerk is notified so that council is notified, on the 108B expends as well, another thought. And the piece talks about 5.4 mil of the apply and accept, but the local match is to 2.9, correct?
To the chairman, the $5.45 million is the 80% federal award coming through the grant. There's a $1.36 million local match, and the council summary does have an updated table. So since when we came during summer recess, we had submitted a total grant application of over $11 million.
Okay. Right.
We received a partial award, and so this piece reflects the updated dollar amounts from that partial award of what we actually are recommended to receive from NOACA.
There we go. Because I'm like, I thought this was...
The numbers don't match from the summertime. They are updated
Okay.
and corrected here.
There we go. Sounds good. You just explained it to me. All right. Even more reason why we need to attach legislative summary to this, so that way we have all the correct details, and just like I'm thinking 11 million, almost 12, actually was reduced. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Any questions from the committee?
I have a question.
Yes. You want to do the,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through the chair to the Director in Chief. Congratulations. This is the first time we have received this grant? Or?
To the councilwoman through the chair, we have received other awards through this grant. CMAQ funding is a major portion of the funding going into the Superior Midway. We also have an award for the Lorraine Midway should that project receive a full complement of funding to move toward construction. This does represent one of the first funding awards for the Cleveland Moves Plan implementation, and so we're very excited about that. And I think it's the first time that we've received funding through CMAQ for vehicle electrification.
Good. My next question through the chair, I see a list of addresses, locations, I think that you guys are going to prioritize for bicycle improvement. Through the chair, I see 3 in my ward. Curious to know, have the residents, have they been engaged? Have you started that process of engaging residents, and how could I help?
Thank you. To the councilwoman through the chair, these are segments that were discussed in the Cleveland Moves citywide transportation plan creation, and in many cases, they are ones that we have received repeated requests for over time. Fulton, 41st, 44th are topics of recurring outreach, as we know from both wards that those traverse through. There will be additional engagement as we move into this process. So if you think about the big citywide concept, we've done general engagement around to identify those desired connections. And then as we get into each segment and the design specifically for those segments, there will be additional outreach around the details of that, what residents can expect that to look like, how that will impact, so that they can inform the design as well. So as we get into more and more specifics leading to construction, there's more and more detailed engagement leading to that.
Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Before we go to Councilman Harsh, I've heard from some council members that they were not aware of some of the areas that are on the 15 area list. So please, can you make sure that you reach out to council members before finance? No, you're going to go where next? MSP? MSP. So between MSP and finance, really before MSP, that you reach out to council members and chat with them about the areas of their ward that's included in this, about what you all intend to do in those particular areas. Okay. All right, Councilman Harsh.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to offer, I believe, 3 amendments here.
Yes, sir.
In Section 6, regarding the 108B,
It was actually 2.
Yeah, then section 6 we move to notify the clerk on any expenditures on 108B. And then in section, I believe it would be section 12, amend to include language not to exceed $6,815,532, which leads to the third amendment to attach the executive summary as a file attachment to the ordinance.
All right, is there a second? Second, Councilwoman Santana. All right, any discussion? I'm sorry, I said Spencer. I was thinking you, but she said.
Hang on, I think he has a question.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Can you repeat that number?
The dollar amount?
Yes.
The dollar amount through the chair, the dollar amount was $6,815,532. It's the same dollar amount reflected in the executive summary that we would be attaching to the file.
Okay, thank you.
All right, there's a motion and second. Any discussion? All right, seeing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Thank you, Councilman Harsh, Councilwoman Santana. I got the S right this time. Any additional questions regarding ordinance number 1218-2025? Yes, Councilwoman?
And just to comment, Mr. Chair, along the lines of what was already discussed, I'm delighted to see the segments that are Ward 15 in this plan as part of the Cleveland Moves plan, but these are truly some of the most dangerous sections and corridors for pedestrians and cyclists. So this is great news. And I didn't want to, I'm sorry, I stepped out briefly just to clarify. So this is the piece is to apply for the funds, so we have not yet received the funds. Is that accurate through the chair?
To the councilwoman through the chair, council passed legislation this summer to apply and accept the funds. This is authority to expend them. NOACA has provided a recommendation to the state board for what our award is, and that's what the adjusted dollar amounts are for, from where we sit now to what we brought originally this summer.
Great, thank you. And then just one more question. What is the anticipated time frame for completion?
This construction funding is available beginning in state fiscal year 2030, which begins summer of 2029. However, if our project is ready, we can go to NOACA and request the funds in advance. And so we are trying to do what we can to be ready to roll out these improvements as soon as possible.
All right, thank you.
2025 stands approved as amended. All right. Thank you so much. All right. That's it for us, DPS.
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned.